Hello everyone, my name is Carrie Walker and today we are talking about healthy habits, and we're specifically going to be focusing on how we can use our journaling to hold ourselves accountable and stay disciplined when it comes to implementing those healthy habits into our day-to-day life. If I'm being 100% honest, I have been slacking off recently. It's just been a really busy semester for me. I've been working 2 jobs on top of school, and even though overall I've done a pretty decent job at staying healthy and living just like a healthy lifestyle, I definitely have a lot of room for improvement, and I really just want to get better at being disciplined with daily habits rather than when it's more convenient, if you know what I mean. When it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, a lot of it comes down to discipline. Those little micro habits and decisions that we make in our day-to-day ultimately have a huge impact in the long run, which is why for the month of May, I really wanted to focus on daily habits, building that routine so that when times do get busy, I already have that set up in my life and there's less wiggle room for falling off track. So I'm uploading this video for May so that I can invite you guys to do this along with me. I'm going to be setting up a habit tracker in my journal to keep track of everything that I do for the next month. Maybe we'll do it past May, who knows, but for now we're focusing on just 1 month. That's much more manageable than thinking about like the rest of forever. I've done similar challenges like these in the past, so I'll show you guys what it looks like in those previous journal entries as well, just so you can kind of have an idea of what the end goal looks like, although I am going to be setting up this month a little bit differently, so I'll also show you guys what I'm doing for that. So first things first, let me get out those other journal entries so I can show you guys kind of like the general vision idea of what I'm talking about. I did it in January 2020, which is in this journal right here. I also did like a mini year version in one of the months of 2020, but I don't remember which month. I can try to find that. And then I think it was this journal where just last year in August of 2023, I did another month challenge. So let me get those out real quick. Gotta separate my journals. Just gonna plop this one down there. Put this over here for now. Hopefully they don't all fall over. And then I need this journal. Oop. Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. And then I need this one as well. Plop it there. I'm gonna set my journals back, like kind of facing the other way, just so that when I put these 2 journals back, I can easily put them back in the stack and know exactly where they go. I'm gonna face these ones the other way. So this was my 2020 journal. That's crazy. I have not looked in this journal in a hot minute. On the very first page, oh, we got 2020. Look at that. 2020. This was my word of the year, and then this was like a phrase of the year or something. Discipline and seize the day and night. What a crazy year. Throwback to when I thought 2020 was gonna be like the best year ever, and then it was very clearly not. Wow. I have this whole calendar that I'm gonna blur out a little bit, but it's literally like my day to day for all of January in 2020. Very detailed and specific, color coded and everything. On the next page though, this is what I was talking about. So this was like the month challenge that I did. You can see I have 25 different habits there that I did every single day, and overall I did pretty good at following them every day. Kind of like right here is where I started falling off a little bit, but that's still really good. That's really consistent. A lot of the habits were like nothing crazy, like brushing my teeth in the morning. Like I do that pretty much every day, except, well, I guess not on January 4th. I didn't brush my teeth on January 4th, yikes. But I brush my teeth every single night in January. I was wanting to live my life to my full potential. Let me see if I can find the other month, if that was in this journal, because I know I did like another version of it. And I think in like November of 2020, I also did another version. Oh yeah, so here's April 2020. You can see it definitely was not nearly as productive as January, but I said that I dropped a barbell on my head at the beginning of the month, and then the rest of the month I just was sad because, you know, my senior year of high school got ruined by COVID. So considering that like the motivation was at an all-time low during this month because the whole world was just really sad, I think that's pretty good. The fact that I was still prioritizing these healthy habits, I'm not too mad about that. These were the habits that I did in April 2020, a little bit different than January. Work on handstands. Nice, nice. I forgot that I even did that. Let me see if this was November 2020. I can't remember if it was, that's the right year or not. Oh my gosh, guys. Isn't that so cute? I have 4,000 subscribers. Okay, let's see, November. Oh, I guess this was not November. Maybe it's in this one. Aha, yes. I did it with my roommate back in 2020. We did not succeed. Overall, the month was kind of meh right here. You can see I did not do too hot, and then we like forgot about it, I guess. I don't really know. Let's look at the August one of last year because I know I just did it. Oh my gosh. gosh, look at that. August, I crushed it. I did everything every single day. These were the habits that I was doing, and then you can see I just used like different words around it to kind of like frame the vibe of the month that I wanted. I used that same like zigzaggy pattern as I did back in 2020. I do want to try something different this time though. I love having the habit trackers directly in my journal. One, because I already know I'm going to be journaling every single day since I daily journal. So it's a really easy, accessible place that I can check every day. Another reason I like having it in my journal is because to me, my journal is like a permanent thing. It's always going to be here. I have all of my journals here. I'm not going to like tear out the pages. I'm not going to throw it away if I like mess up or fall off or forget about it. I will always be able to look back and see, was I successful or did I fail? Did I do what I say I was going to do? So it adds like an extra layer of holding yourself accountable because it literally is going to be there forever and you can't just like forget about it, you know? So that's why I really like having it in my journal. Let me put these journals away. It's getting so tall, you guys. 25 journals right here. And this is journal 26, my current journal that I'm writing in. As you can see, it is definitely smaller than the other journals that I've done my past challenges in, which is why we're gonna have to set it up a little bit differently. Also, I know I just was talking about like the benefits of having it in your actual journal, but I have been considering doing this in my bullet journal here. This is just like a random journal that I have. I've shown you guys this before. This one right here. There's just a lot of random things in this bullet journal. The reason I was considering doing it in there instead of my actual journal is just because I'm filming this on April 23rd so that I can get it like edited and everything for you guys before May starts in case you're wanting to join in. And I feel like it feels weird to set it up in my journal when it's still April. Normally I would want to do it like on May 1st, so it's at the very start of the month, so it's in like a order that makes sense in my journal, because it just doesn't really make sense in my head to do it on like April 23rd and then write for the last week of April and then start in May. So it's like the chart itself is going to be like in the middle of April, which just like doesn't make sense in my head. So my options are either to do it in the middle of April or to do it in here, just on a random page. Also, if you're somebody who doesn't journal every single day, something you could do is to just do it on a blank piece of paper that you can have just like sitting on your desk. The dangers of that though is it's very easy to like throw it away if you mess up, like I had mentioned. It's much easier to hold yourself accountable when it's in like something official that you know isn't going anywhere. A piece of paper you can like lose and pretend never happened if you are disappointed with your results. So it's much easier to like make excuses when it's something that's just gonna get like thrown out. However, I did consider doing that though, just so that I could like tape it into my journal on May 1st, but I don't think I'm gonna do that either. I think I'm gonna do it in my bullet journal, but I encourage you guys to wait until May 1st and do it in your actual journal. Doing it in the bullet journal definitely will be easier as well, just because there's dotted lines instead of like the normal lines. You can still set it up in the exact same way that I'm gonna be doing now, but you would just have to like measure out a little bit for the 31 days of May. Also, you can do this for any month too, so if you like miss watching this video and it's already halfway through May, or it's another month, or you're watching this a year from now, like do it in whatever month you want, or just do it for like a week, whatever your heart desires. Alright, so we got our journal here. Again, you can use your actual daily journal if you want. I'm gonna be doing my bullet journal for the reasons I already explained. For the previous challenges, I've done like a whole spread on 2 separate pages, but for this one, I'm gonna consolidate it only onto 1 page, and I'm actually going to flip the journal this way and do it like this, because I'm only gonna be doing like 10 different habits, I think. So I'm gonna be doing it like just right here. I'll write like a little title above, have the habits, and then I need to count out 31 days on the right side, just so that I can space it all out correctly for each day of the month. Obviously, if you're doing this in a month that only has 30 days, or like 28 days if you're doing it in February of any year, then just like count out however many days you need. So I'm gonna get my ruler, pencil, my point liner, specifically the 0.8 size, a small brush pen. I'm not positive that I'm gonna use this, but I'm gonna have it here just in case. And then I have 10 different colors here. Whoa, my goodness gracious. I have 10 different colors here that I'm gonna be using for the different habits. I just used these colors in my prayer journal that I just set up in my last video, so check that out if you haven't already. But I really was loving the colors, and since I have 10 different categories for my prayer journal, and then I'm gonna be doing 10 different habits for this video, I figured why not use these same colors since they're just really my vibe right now. The first thing I'm gonna do is just count the little boxes that I have. If you're doing this in your normal journal on like lined paper, then you'll just like count the lines. So I'm gonna go from here, just gonna make a mark right here, and I'm gonna count 31 days from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark there with pencil so you can see like from here to here, that's where all of my habits are gonna be. Just to be sure, I'm gonna count that again because it's very easy to miscount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, amazing. I'm doing 10 different habits. Since there's the dots here, it's really easy to count out like 10 exactly. If you're doing it on lined paper, it's a little bit harder. What you're gonna wanna do is, let me actually show you here. So you can use your ruler to like measure the exact exact distance between the two lines in your journal, and then whatever that is, you can do that 10 times for the length and just make like a little tick mark each place so that you can kind of have perfectly sized squares, if that makes sense. Let me just erase that real quick. So since there's only going to be 10, it's not going to fill up the whole page. I want to leave some space here for the title, and then there's just going to be probably some white space on the bottom. So I'm going to be mindful of that and just kind of like eyeball where I'd maybe have it. So let's say I have the bottom like right there. So let's count 10 up and see what that would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I started there, it would be like right like that. That's kind of low down. I think I'm going to shift it up just a little bit. And also I'm going to be like leaving this space here. This is where like each habit is going to be, like where I'm going to write out what each habit is. So it's going to span the entire length, or I guess like height in this case, since it's like a sideways journal, but it's not going to fill it out all this way. I think I like this. This is where the corners will be, like right here, right there, and that's kind of like what it'll be, if you can see that. So now that I have that, I'm going to do the outline. So now I'm going to take my point liner and I'm just going to do the outline. I'm going to start out by doing the full square outline. You know, now that I'm looking at it, I wish maybe I did do it one more down, because there's a lot of space here and I'm still going to do the title here, but it's okay. I'm going to mark this off. And so you can see this is where I'm going to write the habits, and then this is all going to be a checkered version of the month. Oh wait, actually, you know what I forgot? I forgot to count for an 11th one, since I also want to write the days of the month. So maybe I'll just add like a line down here, and I'll still do the numbers like right there at the top, but I'll add like that 11th line down here. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the horizontal lines, and those are going to go from all the way from the right to the left. This right side though is going to be checkered, so I'm going to do vertical lines all for the rest of that, but not in this box. Alright, I got all my horizontal lines, and then like I said, I'm going to do the vertical lines only on this right side, because this is where I'm going to write each of the habits, and then these will be the days 1 through 31. So now that we have that, it's looking really good. I'm gonna erase the pencil markings that I made just when I did like the little outline of it. So make sure those are all gone. It's a super simple step that's really easy to forget. I'm just gonna write numbers 1 through 31 in this top row. I'm gonna do that first before writing my habits here, just because it's super easy to accidentally write your first habit in this top row, but you actually wanna start it in the second row here, because this top one is where the numbers go, and then this is where you're gonna be filling out if you did the habits or not each day. So just to prevent any accidents, I'm gonna do the numbers of each day first. And I'm using the 0.3 instead of the 0.8 just because it's a little thinner and easier to write with. I could use a little something. Looking really beautiful. So I think I might write the title in these colors and do like a little bouncy hand lettering. Let's zoom in here just a little bit. So I'm going to start out by just doing like the outline of the letters, and then I'll probably go in with the colors and make the letters a little thicker. I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do. So now okay, so I have the title written down here. I ended up just writing May Habit Tracker because I didn't think May 2024 Habit Tracker was going to fit. And then I just wrote May 2024 here just so that I can still have the year there. So now I'm going to spice up the title a little bit. I'm going to do that by basically doing like a fake brush pen look with it. And I'm going to just imagine like what using a brush pen with the hand lettering would look like, which means that I'm going to draw and like thicken up the downstrokes of each of these letters. So for the letter M, I would do like a downstroke here. So I would thicken up this one. This will be thin. This will be a little thickened, thin, thick, thin, and same for all the letters. So let's zoom in again. This is how the title turned out. I think it looks really cute. I could have just used small brush pens, but I wanted to use these colors since I know that I'm going to be using these colors for the checkoffs each day, and I just wanted it to match. It'll overall make it look more cohesive. I thought about maybe outlining it in a black pen, but I think I'm going to just leave it like this because it'll kind of match better when I write each of the habits, because I'm going to write the habits in these colors as well, and I'm not going to like outline those in black, so I feel like it'll just like kind of match more to have those not outlined in black and the title will also not be. So now I'm going to write all the habits down. and as I'm writing them, I'm going to explain why I want to do each one. So the first habit that I want to focus on is to wake up before 7 a.m. That might be pretty early for you guys, but for me, that's honestly like sleeping in, since normally I wake up between like 5 or 6 usually. But since the semester is ending, I know I'm gonna want to like sleep in a little bit more, so I'm just gonna still give myself a cutoff of 7 a.m. to be up by, because I personally just am more of a morning person. I tend to be a lot more productive when I start my days early. So even though summertime is approaching, I want to still make sure that I am getting up at a decent hour and starting my day off strong. Ideally, I'll still get up at like 5 or 6, but I'm giving myself a little bit of wiggle room to wake up by 7 in case I want to sleep in a little bit. The second habit is make my bed. I have really been bad about making my bed recently, but I feel like it really is a good habit to get into because your room just feels so much more put together when your bed's made. I'm also a lot less tempted to go take a nap in the middle of the day if my bed is made, and it just like overall makes me feel a little bit more put together. Next, I want to focus on skincare in the morning. Ideally, I'll do my full skincare routine, but I'm just going to focus on doing some sort of skincare because I feel like that's better than just like completely skipping it. So even if it's just like washing my face, moisturizing, putting on sunscreen, or even just like sunscreen, even if it's only sunscreen, I want to make sure I do at least something. But again, I'm going to try to do like the full routine each day. Next, I want to Bible each day. I always use Bible as like a verb. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I just say like, oh, I'm Bibling. But basically, I just want to do some sort of like daily devotional. I go through like phases of being really good about doing it every day or like pretty consistently, and then I'll be like really bad about not doing it at all. So I want to be really disciplined and consistent about getting in my daily devotional, spending time with God. Overall, it really does make such a huge difference in my life when I am consistent with it. So I want to be more disciplined with that. I also want to be more disciplined with my prayer life. Some days I'm really good about praying consistently throughout the day. Some days I just will like completely forget to pray. So I want to make sure I'm doing that every single day, not just continuously throughout my day, but even just making sure that I am like having like more of a long intentional sit down prayer, whether it's out loud or in my head or journaling about it. I'm not going to be prayer journaling every day, but I still wrote that down just because I want to be doing that more. Then the next habit is daily journaling. You guys know I've been daily journaling for over 7 years now. We're coming up on like 7.5 years, so this is going to be a piece of cake for me. Like it's really in my blood at this point to daily journal, but I still wanted to include it because it's a healthy habit. I want to make sure I keep doing each day, but I do also want to be more intentional about like sitting down and having like a non-rushed journal entry. I want to make sure I'm using it as like a creative outlet as well as like an emotional outlet, and just really reaping the full benefits of daily journaling and not just like going through the motions, because it's definitely easy to fall into just like a mindless routine with daily journaling since I've been doing it for so long. So having it on my little habit tracker list is kind of just like a reminder for me to make sure I am being really intentional about it and not just like checking off the box of journaling each day. I also want to make sure I get in some form of exercise or movement each day. I'm not going to be exercising every single day just because I want to make sure I'm giving my body time to rest, but I want to make sure I'm being more consistent with exercising, and on the days that I am taking a rest day, I want to have like an active rest day where I'm going on like a walk or just moving my body and not like sitting around all day, because it's just good to get your blood flowing. We only get one body, so I want to make sure I'm taking care of it. And then next, I have clean my room because a decluttered space is a decluttered mind. I feel like it's much easier to just make sure you like pick up the little things each day and make sure your room's cleaned, as opposed to waiting until it gets like really messy and then it's just like overwhelming and then you push it off for way longer, which I'm definitely guilty of doing sometimes. Plus, it's just so nice to like wake up to a clean room and to go to bed like feeling so peaceful that your room is already cleaned. It's just like so much nicer, and I feel like it just brings the stress and anxiety down just a little bit. Then we have skincare at night. Just like in the morning, I want to make sure I'm doing some form of skincare, even if it's just washing my face and putting on some moisturizer. Again, ideally I'll do like the full routine, but I'm going to just at least make sure the bare minimum is done instead of not doing anything at all, because something is better than nothing. I pick at my skin a lot, so I feel like when I am prioritizing skincare, it makes me feel like I'm treating my skin nicely. So I just want to make sure I'm doing that every day. Also, I feel like I'm just more confident overall when I'm consistently doing my skincare. My skin just feels nicer. I feel like it looks nicer and my makeup applies more nicely when I'm prioritizing my skincare. So it just makes me feel more confident, more healthy. It makes me feel like I'm really taking care of myself. And lastly, I have drink 1 to 2 water bottles a day. Guys, I've been so bad about drinking water recently. I don't know why, but sometimes I literally would just not even drink any water at all, or I'll drink like half a bottle. Like it's really, really bad. And like skincare doesn't really do that much if you're not hydrating your skin anyway. And also just in general, drinking water obviously is so good for you. So I want to make sure that I am drinking at least a bottle a day. I have a 32-ounce water bottle, so I honestly should be drinking more than just 1 a day. I should really have like 2 to 3 each day. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna start a little slow because I I've been really bad recently and I was like, one bottle is still better than nothing. So I'm gonna shoot for 2, maybe even more if I'm feeling crazy, wanting to be a hydrated queen, but at the very least, 1 bottle. So this is what the final habit tracker looks like. I think it turned out really cute. This is what it looks like when it's just like sitting face up. If I did it in my actual journal, I would just keep writing on the pages following. I'm kind of sad that it's not in my actual journal just because I really like having it in my journal, but I just felt like it would be weird if I had it in the middle of April while I'm filming it. I encourage you to do it in your actual journal though. When I actually go to fill it out, I'm going to, instead of doing like the crisscross pattern that I've been doing, I think I'm just gonna do like a little polka dot. Not just like a dot, but like kind of like really fill it in like a big circle. I feel like it'll just be something different. It'll look cute. Another thing I recommend is writing down the list on your phone. So here I have all of the daily habits on my phone and I can just like check them off throughout the day. Whoops. I can check it off throughout the day if I've done it. I feel like that's just a little bit easier if you aren't like with your journal at all times, and then at the end of the day you can like fill it out, or you can just fill it out throughout the day, whatever works best for you. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel like it's just gonna be so much nicer to be back on top of these things. Let me know what habits you want to improve on, and if you're joining in for this little challenge, feel free to steal the habits that I'm doing or take some out, do some of your own. You can do more or less than 10, doesn't really matter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!